What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Popcorn People podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valera. On today's episode, we have a fun one for you as we review the upcoming film, The Creator. On top of that, we give you our trailer reaction to the dream scenario and we'll give you some recommendations. And of course, we end it with a ranking segment. This week, we're going to talk about Quentin Tarantino's filmography. As always, I am joined by my partner here, Mr. Don Fisher. How are you, bud?
Yeah. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, I'm saying, I'm good, man. When you guys see this, I just want you to know that if you're a Bears fan, I'm sorry for you. You guys are trash. If you are a diehard Titans fan, I feel sorry for you. You guys are trash. If you are a Broncos fan, holy shit, y'all are trash. um,
And the thing about this is folks, we're recording this after we saw the shellacking of a 70-20 victory of the Dolphins. The Bears got destroyed yet again with 41-10, and then the Titans got beat by the Browns 27-3. So this is like a week in advance. So that being said, the Bears play the Broncos next weekend. I think it is.
it's
So
really
like this will air whenever they're facing each other, which to me is kind of comical because it's like, yeah, Bears Broncos next weekend. That's trouble. So whoever loses that game, I feel bad for your fan base as well because that is
yeah.
that is tough. It's tough to watch. It's tough to dissect. So it's definitely something weird. That being said, we do have a fun show for you guys. We are filming a little bit ahead of time. I will be on a beach next week, so this is why you're getting a little bit ahead of time. So not to brag or anything, you know what I mean? But I'm bragging. But yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off with the trailer of the week.
All right. A24. We know them, we love them. They drop heat on a consistent basis, and hopefully this was no different. We have we're talking about the trailer for Dream Scenario, starring the one and only, like them or love them, hate them, Nick Cage. A hapless family man, Paul Matthews, finds his life turned upside down when millions of strangers suddenly start seeing him in their dreams. When his nightmare appearances take a nightmarish turn, Paul is forced to navigate his newfound stardom. I'm gonna go first on this one because this is one of those films that I feel like could be super fantastic, super creative. It looks super creative, but could also find the weird spot that Bo is Afraid is in, where you're like, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it, and it's gonna fall in this. Is it overly artistic? Is it trying to do too much? But as we've seen Nick Cage over the past couple of years, he seems to kind of be strategically picking his roles pretty good. But this one, it does feel like that kind of that night, like they're saying, nightmarish, panicky, and almost feels like that movie. I think it was Jason Segal when he like was it Jason Segal when he's like or was it Vince Vaughn? Whoever had a whole bunch of kids, they found out like, oh, you have like 500 kids. That's what this kind of feels
It's
like.
fun. Yeah.
Vince Vaughn, yeah. Where
Delivery
you have,
man.
yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that he has all these people, coming to him in the trailer, and they're like, I saw you in my dreams. Hey, I saw the guy too. It just, I want to know why. And I think that's what this trailer does. You want to know so bad why this is happening. What's causing this to happen? Has this happened in real life before? Because we talk about our dreams, but we never talk about the specific person that we see because you don't want to give people that power of like you were in my dream. So I think this looks very interesting. I'm excited to see this. A24, just I don't know, man. I don't know what they do. Who is in charge of picking? If they pick by committee, but they do a great job of picking great cinema. And this looks like this is going to be another good one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, one thing you can rely on A24 is they take risk, and as risk takers, you get some unique, fun films. Not all hit, not all make it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you do get some bangers from time to time. This looks very weird, but like in all the funnest ways possible, right? You know what I mean? When I was watching this trailer, I was like, when it started, I'm like, what is this movie? And to be honest with you, after I watched the trailer, I'm still not sure what that movie is. But I feel like this is the type of movie that's going to be right up my alley. I think it's going to be campy. I think it's going to be funny. I think it's going to be weird. It's going to be all over the place. Nicolas Cage, I agree with you. He is picking roles that he can really kind of put himself into, have fun. You know what I mean? I feel like he's in
Yep.
that stage of his career where
Yep.
he doesn't have to have the Oscar-winning roles, or he's just having the time of his life, and I really enjoy that. So this looks right up my alley. I'm excited. I whenever you text me, and I even looked up synopsis, I'm like, I don't even know. And I watched the trailer, and I'm like kind of reeled in. Like I feel like a trailer's job is to sell you on watching a movie. I'm sold.
Yep.
I'm sold. I'm genuinely sold. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to check it out because it looks like it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, I don't know. A24 is great. I agree with you 100% there. So I definitely think it's something that's interesting to chat about. So yeah,
Yeah, I would love to see the inner workings of A24. Like they have to either be like the most like executive type people, or like the most artsy film buffs, like nerds like us that we've ever seen, and then we end up getting gold on a pretty consistent basis.
yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah, I'm looking. I really I really like it. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited. I love what A24 does, and I love the chances that they're going to take with film. So let's jump into some news of the week. It was really loud in my ears. Uh, I threw this one in there. Dom doesn't even know. I don't think we're going to talk about for the news of the week, but this is like a week later. I just wanted to touch on it real quick. They did announce, while this was obviously we're airing a week ahead of time, but Usher is playing the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And I genuinely, I like Usher, right? I like Usher, but this is a terrible pick. Like this is a terrible pick. Like again, nothing against Usher. He's got some bangers. Maybe he'll like incorporate people into his deal. You know what I mean? Like maybe
Yeah.
he'll bring some, maybe he'll bring the Beebs, maybe he'll bring a little Timberlake, maybe he'll bring a little collab on the stage. But for me, this is like whatever. You know what I mean? Like it was just a swing and a miss for me. What do you think of it?
Yeah. I mean, I dig Usher, but is he on my phone? No. Um, I mean, and I like to say that I like all music. I'm not a huge country fan unless it's something really old. Um, but I predominantly listen to hip hop and metal. That's really my wheelhouse. A little classical here and there, some Dean Martin or something like that. But yeah, I don't get the Usher thing. Like, I mean, we know after I forgot who it was that was performing. We found out, a decade ago that you don't get paid for the halftime show. The halftime show basically is your payment because you can grow your fan base and whatnot. So maybe that's what he's doing because Usher. I'm not saying he's been on a downward spiral because he's one of the goats of R&B, so he doesn't have much to prove. However, he's still relatively young, so I'm sure he still is trying to put out new music, and maybe that's what he's trying to do. But yeah, I don't get the Usher play. I really don't. I mean, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but Taylor, I mean, I think that's what she was supposed to originally do it because she's popping right now. But I think I'm not sure the exact reason why
I think
she.
she turned it down, but I mean, she doesn't really need it
Yeah,
though. You know what I mean?
no, not at all, not at all. And I'm pretty sure too. Like, I mean, the tickets might go up in price because that's a concert you're gonna get. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Look, I mess with Usher. Hopefully, like you said, hopefully he brings ATL with him, and we'll get some old school collab. Maybe we'll see like a Sierra and Youngbloods pop up. Some I
Lil
need a
Jon. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Ludacris.
Ludacris.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need like a throwback because I don't think that he's popular music right now. So
yeah.
you're gonna have to go to your bangers that everybody knows. And if that's what happens when we get more of a upbeat Usher, or even you could throw a little confessions in there because we all sing along to that. That's
Uh,
cool, but I don't need new songs that I don't know.
exactly. I didn't even look. Can I be honest? I didn't even like. I knew he's producing, right? Does
Yeah,
he have new music? Like, when's?
I don't know. I
Let me
really,
check out. I'm gonna check Spotify real
I
quick.
haven't checked for
Live on
Usher.
there. I
I haven't
haven't.
checked for Usher in so long.
Let's see here. Usher. Last. Oh, he has a new single, 2023 with DJ Khaled and J Balvin. That's his first single since or My Way 25th anniversary. That's on an album. So the A was the last new album he had was in 2018.
Mm.
Like, what are we doing here?
And if he busts out My Way during the halftime show, I mess with that. My Way was hard.
I mean, bust out a little John Luda. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you got to
Like,
keep it upbeat. So
exactly. You know what I mean? Like maybe a little spin on My Way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
yeah.
mean, I'd be, all right. I don't know, man. I'm not for it. So
I
terrible.
think he's definitely gonna bring out the karaoke hits. That's what he's got to
Yeah,
do.
that's the only thing he can do.
Because
Because
I think if you do that, it'll be like a less divisive situation because you're never gonna please a crowd of football fans.
no.
Either like I don't like this person or I don't like this message, I don't like what they're wearing, whatever the case is. But if you do the karaoke hits, oh boom, you're gonna be one of the greatest of all time doing halftime.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, he's no like Rihanna. It was like Rihanna, just Rihanna. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is a fucking banger. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I don't even know, man. I'm confused. But let's dive into this movie.
Yeah, so we recently saw, what is supposed to be one of the biggest film events of the year, The Creator, right? As a future war between the human race and artificial intelligence rages on, ex Special Forces Joshua is recruited to hunt down and kill the Creator, the elusive architect of advanced AI. The Creator has developed a mysterious weapon that has the power to end the war and all of mankind. As Joshua and his team of elite operatives venture into enemy occupied territory, they soon discover the world ending weapon is actually an AI in the form of a young child. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
That's that. Sir, this is the most kindest thing you've ever done in your entire life. It's very much appreciated. Okay, so going into this, I didn't really have any expectations. I really didn't. I felt like this is a movie that looked cool via the trailer, and I don't even know if I ever really watched the full trailer. I just saw that clips of it. And to be honest with you, I am a huge John David Washington fan. I think he's fantastic, and I think he is a very, very good actor. So I think anything he's in, you can more or less count me in. But let's talk about the movie here. Okay. I've seen all over social media, people have touted this thing since the greatest thing since sliced bread, one of the best sci-fi movies of the last decade, or whatever. I don't know. When the biggest problem this thing has is, and I'll fast forward a little bit and then rewind, is I remember sitting outside the theater with Dom, and as we were picking apart the movie, talking about certain parts of the film, I hated the movie even more. Or I not hate it, but dislike the movie even more. Like,
Yeah.
you start to conversate about certain things, and then when you have the conversations with somebody else. We do this all the time. But when you're conversating and you're realizing, oh shit, yeah, that and that, and oh man, and that, you know what I mean? You're going down this path. The relationship between Joshua and Maya is like the central focus of the story, right? Joshua is trying to do whatever he can to get that one last conversation. Maybe she's still alive. I mean, obviously, this is coming out after it's out, right? Yes. So they dangle this low hanging fruit in front of his face that she's still alive, basically, after the big war at the beginning of the film, and they never fully develop their relationship. We get a 3-4 minute conversation at the beginning. They're laying in bed together. He's rubbing her belly. You're pregnant, and then out of nowhere, it's like, oh, I'm undercover, and she's like, oh no, you are, and then points a gun at him, and then runs away, and then dies, and then it's like, where was the development in this story to make me care about these two characters? Where's the development in this story for me to care about anything that happens to any of the characters in this story, except for Alfie? Alfie, no harm was done here. Madeline, Una Voiles, fantastic. John David Washington, he comes out of this unscathed too. I thought he was fine in it. I don't think he's a groundbreaker or anything, but I really enjoyed his performance. I love the moments between Joshua and Alfie, very fantastic. There's some beautiful moments between those two that I really liked. I thought Hans Zimmer's score does all of the heavy lifting when it comes to emotional beats of this that's completely missing from the script. There is some visual stunning moments, but personally, like the frustrating plot holes make this film completely disappointing. If you connect a few dots, make it about 15 minutes shorter, you have a good film. And that's the most frustrating aspect of the creator is you're walking away from a film that could have been great, but it falls short on every level trying to get there. So, what did you think, Dom?
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those films that it's the the ratings for most critics, I believe, are going to be somewhat off because the film does look so good, right? You know, when we put our, whether it's out of 5, whether it's out of 10, we go through, whether, how it visually looks, how it sounds, cinematography, acting, all these things, and it looks so good. The score is so good that that's gonna bump some things up to where you go, oh, so the movie was pretty good, and you like it. I mean, yeah, but no. And to piggyback off some what you said is, it does have those emotional beats that are there, but then there's so many that could have been there. Um, that it was a missed opportunity a lot of the time, and especially when you have someone like with Gemma Chan, she's so good, and it's like, why didn't we get an abundance of her to feel that connection? And yeah, it's really unfortunate. But I mean, it's a mixture. I mean, honestly, you can also kind of say that this film is a little bit um derivative. I wouldn't really put it that way because I feel like it's more influence, but one could say, oh, it's just like this, because it does have a feeling of Chappie or District 9 or mixed with like a war movie, a little bit of iRobot. I mean, you can clearly tell that the director loved sci-fi and wanted to create this next great sci-fi adventure situation. And I mean, it did a great job of world building, but I don't know if all the time that it took to world build was worth it, because I don't know if this leads to a franchise. Because I feel like this is one of those films that it might take away from this one if you are trying to build a franchise, because it'll make this one seem so much less than compared to what you do next. But like you said, Alfie, I love that kid so much. Because not only did we get like a genuine kid playing at their age, but to be that good and make you feel a certain way, and just seeing the smile with the little bitty baby teeth, I was like, this is great to see. Like this kid being a kid, trying to figure out the world because that's what a kid would do. And yeah, like you said, those moments, like the moment on the bus, I was like, this is my favorite thing. And it's in the trailer. So we're talking about it doesn't really spoil it, but when she says, um, we're both not going to heaven because you're not nice and I'm not real. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? Why'd y'all put this line in here? So there is some good writing. So it has like a lot of good things about it, but like any movie, that a lot of times we don't have time to process because we might see a movie a day or two before and have to get out a review, really quickly. We don't have time all the time to sit and talk and digest a film. So when you do see Rotten Tomato scores or all these things where it's really high, and then sometimes, I'm sure there's critics that want to go back and go, well, actually, I probably would rank it a little bit lower, or maybe sometimes a little bit higher, because we didn't have the same time to talk and digest all the time, especially if we're watching something at home. But yeah, I mean, there's some things it does well, but I think we talked about this after the movie too. It's very heavy in its themes of like the military complex and Western imperialism, and some of that it does take away from what they're trying to do, because you're so focused on these things may be terrible, because it's in the future that's not so far from where we are now. So yeah, and then oh yeah, the worst thing about this movie is Allison Janney's wig. I don't know what they were doing when they gave her this haircut, this wig. I stared at the whole movie and I just wanted to pull it off. I don't know what it was. But yeah, I mean, is it great? No. Is it a good movie? Yeah. I mean, if you go in there and you're just trying to, I want this sci-fi action film, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get the big explosions, the huge weapons and things of that sort, and you won't be disappointed in that regard. But when you really try to break it down to what it's trying to say and the emotional aspects, it's gonna fall short a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. There's so many levels of it that's quite frustrating, and to me, it's Gemma Chan. I feel like she was so underutilized here
Yeah.
that it kind of blew my mind almost. You know what I mean? It kind of crazy how little they used her in this film. I don't know. Very, very frustrating. Just a frustrating movie. I don't. Again, I didn't say I hated it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I try not. I don't really rate movies that much anymore. But it's like I recommend checking it out. If I wrote this in my review, that came out on Hit and Remote. If you have like AMC, Regal, like club member, you know you're paying for the monthly movies. Go see that. Am I
Yeah.
going to recommend you paying $35-$40 plus popcorn and all that other good stuff on a random date night? Nah, definitely not. Like there's like it's crazy to me because there's like a weighted recommendation anymore. Because like if you have Regal or AMC, like the monthly unlimited package, it's like of course go see something. I mean, it's not costing you really any money outside of your whole monthly package. But if you're paying, counter prices, $15 a ticket. If you're going with somebody, you're looking at 30. Then we're gonna buy some concessions. I
Yep.
mean, unless you sneak them in like I do, you know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? But it's like you're out $50-$60 on a night. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely not worthy, in my opinion, to check it out. But I don't know. Creator, definitely interesting, definitely frustrating at the same time. So let's dive into some good old watch recommendations. All right. This week, actually last week, whatever week you want to say it was, there is a lot to talk about whenever it comes to, if I can find my notes here somewhere. I had to get my notes up for the review for the creator. But this week, my two recommendations are as follows. I'm going to share with you Wilderness on Prime Video. It is a fantastic little show, 6-episode series based on the novel of the same name by B.E. Jones. Jenna Coleman, and Olivia Jackson Cohen star in the series about a young British couple whose marriage is threatened when Liv sees messages on Wilp's mobile phone revealing an affair with a coworker. This is very much think Fatal Attraction mixed with Gone Girl, all wrapped up in one. I love the series. What makes it even better, it's 6 episodes only. Quick, easy binge. You're looking 40, 50-minute episodes. So, I mean, you're talking about maybe a day and a half binge. Loved it. Fantastic. The other thing I want to recommend, I rewatched The Blackening. Funny enough, it's the first time I watched it since we saw it in theaters. And I was hoping it held up. And there were certain parts that I was really hoping to kind of really see again, because when you see this movie in a full jam-packed theater,
Yeah.
A, you're laughing, and then B, you have a crowd, sometimes obnoxious, sometimes loud laughers, sometimes things kind of going on that's beyond your control, and you miss certain things. So this time I was able to be seated, watch it in my living room. Just as funny, hilarious, one of the better comedies of the year. So I was so glad to be able to rewatch that. But yeah, definitely, it's available on like VOD to rent and purchase right now. So Wilderness, Prime Video, The Blackening, available on VOD. What you got for us, Dom?
So I guess they'll both be out. Gen V, the spinoff of The Boys, was just sent on the episodes after many emails sent. And instead of responding, they just sent it, and I fuck with that. I mean, if you love The Boys, They've put out, a animated little series of shorts. Fire. Gen V, fire. I mean, this not only is this like a spinoff and kind of showing the future of the soups, but this is also a group of future like stars that we're going to see. We've seen some of these people in some of the Netflix series. We've seen them, and I think Lizzie Broadway was in like one of the last American Pie movies. So this is a youthful cast. These are ones that are going to be able to carry franchises, and it's a big, bloody, aggressive time, just like The Boys is. They who Man, Prime puts out. I mean, like we talk about with Apple Plus TV, or Apple TV Plus. Prime tends to have some bangers as well, and The Boys has definitely pulled their weight over at Prime, and they're doing it again with Gen V. And then for this movie, I did put down one movie that we had been talking about before, which is Flora and Son. This is, you know what? I don't usually seek out these kind of mushy feel good movies because it's just not me. I mean, people know me and my aesthetic. It doesn't read soft and mushy. And this movie is a good time, man. I believe Eve Hewson is her name, which is, I think is Bono's daughter, is a star of this film. Opposite of Gordon Levitt. I mean, just right there, you're like, okay, what's what's he got going on? I mean, it's a music film. It's set in Ireland, and I love an Irish accent, especially when it feels authentic. When they get to really speak how they speak, it's foul language. It's not giving a shit what people are thinking about you, and this strange love connection that happens, kind of how these connections happen nowadays through the internet, and you'll get some nice songs and a good story out of it. It's on Apple TV, and yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. They put out another banger. I don't know how they look.
They put out more bangers than anybody else,
I
and
know,
nobody watches the shit.
I know. I don't know if it's because I'm Team Android and I'm not watching that. Look, you're missing out. I'm telling you. Uh, Quit bullshitting and check some of these shows and these movies out, because if they put out 10 movies, 9 of them are great. If they put out
Yes.
10 shows, usually 10 of the 10 shows are great. So yeah, Flora and Son, Gen V, all new. Check them out. And I think you might be able to catch Flora and Son in select theaters for probably the next week or two. So check if you want to see it in a theater. I think you'll get the same effect at home, but a theater is always a little better sometimes. So yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely crazy to me because I can't believe how much they got coming out, and then of course they have the biggest movie of the year of the fall coming out too. You know what I mean? Like they have Killers of the Flower Moon, which I mean,
hmm
Apple, like please hook us up. You know what I mean? I'm
right.
ready to see that bad boy. I've seen too many people tweeting about this for me not to have seen it yet.
Right.
But all right, let's do some rankings, man, before we go. So we are veering off the track a little bit this week with our rankings, but this week we're going to talk Quentin Tarantino. So I saw this pop up on Twitter, and I was like, you know what, this would be a good topic for Dom and I, because I feel like there's a lot of problems with this top 10 as well. But we're not going to talk about the top 10 as a collective whole. But Dom, just give me your 1 through 3, man. What is your top 3 Tarantino films?
All right. So I have to preface this with I haven't seen all 10. Let me see. I've seen about 7 out of the 10. one of which there's a lot of people mad at me that I haven't seen one of them, and that's Django. Every time I say I haven't seen it, people are like, "Why the fuck haven't you watched it?" And I own the movie. I just haven't watched it yet. Why? Why? I don't know. It's just one of those ones that it just every time I think about I'm gonna watch it that day, something comes up. But top three for me, three, I have Kill Bill Volume 1. For two, I have Pulp Fiction. And for one, I have Inglorious Bastards.
So you got Pulp Fiction, Glorious Bastards, and what was the third one?
Kill Bill Volume 1.
Kill Bill Volume 1. All right. So Inglorious Bastards definitely top tier. So I'm gonna go. My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's just my number one. I'm probably heavily biased towards it just because I am a DiCaprio man. You know what I mean? Django is fantastic as
I
well.
haven't seen that one.
Oh my god, you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No.
Oh man. I'm gonna hold that one. That's your homework for like something.
know.
Watch Once Upon a Time. It's fantastic. Oh my god, I'm judging you right now. I didn't really care about the rest of them that you haven't seen. That's the only one I care about you have seen. I'm actually gonna surprise people with my second pick. I love Death Proof. I thought it was a fantastic double feature. It was Death Proof and then the Robert Rodriguez movie that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Planet Terror?
Planet Terror, yeah. I always thought Death Proof was a better of the two. But let me go. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Death Proof, and number three, I'm gonna go Inglorious Bastards as well. That one's pretty fantastic. I almost went to Django. Django's pretty fantastic too. But honestly, I know this is controversial to say, but I also feel like Quentin Tarantino's movies are highly overrated because I'm not saying that he makes terrible movies. I genuinely do not like Kill Bill. I think it's a terrible.
Oh, really?
Movie. I think it's a terrible.
I loved it so much.
I hate Kill Bill. So, it's crazy. The only movie on this list I haven't seen is Kill Bill Volume 2 because I hated Kill Bill Volume 1 so bad. So,
and I think speaking of Death Proof, I believe that it was shot here.
Was it?
I believe it was shot in Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, like those chase scenes were in Lebanon.
That's pretty freaking dope, honestly. I
do love that one though. It's one of those ones where I can watch back to back if I had to.
It was an inspired thriller, was set in Tennessee, but was filmed in California.
Okay.
So here's the second half of the blah blah blah. Although it wasn't filmed. Oh, that's disappointing.
That is.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it was based in this area, so it should. I mean, it's not. They got plenty. This is a great state for shooting shit. I mean, it really is. Like people don't understand how great some of the shot stuff that we have here. But that being said, all right, folks, that is it for this week's episode. The creator, Dream Scenario trailer reaction, Tarantino films recommendations. We gave it all to you this week. We will be back live next week. When I'm freshly, hopefully tan, looking delightful, back from my vacation. But we will fit in a show where we talk about whatever movie that I haven't seen and Dom has probably seen because I will be on a cruise. But other than that, we will talk to you guys next week.
Peace.